What's up, everybody? It's your main man, Darren Brown, Uncooked Podcast. You know what we do, you know why we do it. I've got my main man, Ben Speivek. Did I mess it up? Speivek.
Yep, that's good.
Ben Speivek today. So, Ben, we want to bring you on a podcast. As you know, this is a podcast for entrepreneurs. And what you've done with your brand and fitness, a lot of people have not been able to do and are struggling with it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us some background, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, man. So I started getting into fitness when I was 18. I played polo my whole life, water polo. And then when I quit that, started going to the gym, lifting, just loved it. So I decided to go out and get my certification. Got my PT certification when I was in high school still, then went off to school at UCLA, started working as a trainer there. Got my nutritionist cert because I wanted to do nutrition for my clients, but then my boss wouldn't let me because she said it was a liability. So I quit and decided to build an online business. Started out with Instagram, just posting content, growing that up. Eventually was able to get some clients on there and built a little small coaching business through Instagram, but it wasn't really anything special. I didn't really know that much about how to create a really, really good offer.
Right.
So it was really basic stuff, workout plans, meal plans. And then I decided, well, maybe this isn't doing that well, but I've learned a ton at this point. So why don't I just build something brand new from the ground up? So I moved over to Facebook, started doing, Facebook marketing, actually got myself a business coach, taught me his model. And when I started at Fresh with all the experience that I already had, started to work really well. And so I was able to create a much better program for my clients, things that are actually much more effective. And now I'm doing it full time. So it's a pretty good time.
Nice. So when you were on Instagram originally, like what kind of gave you a red flag to say, hey, this may not be working or I want to change it up? At what point were you like, okay, I need to switch it up,
Yeah. So what I mostly realized is that your business, if you're trying to run it through Instagram, is going to be so dependent on how the algorithm treats you. And that comes in such fluctuations. It's so unreliable that I don't think it's really worth it to try to grow within the platform itself. I think if you can do things in the real world, maybe you go to speaking events or you get in publications or whatever it is so that people figure out who you are and then they go to follow you. I think it's going to be more effective that way. But trying to just grow within that platform is just so much work and so inefficient. And the other issue that I saw with Instagram is that there's way too much competition in the fitness niche there. And it's like the people who follow me are also following probably 20 other online coaches. And so to actually get people to sign up as a client is way more difficult. Whereas Facebook is so intimate. You have way fewer friends. You can only have up to 5,000. And those 5,000 friends you can actually engage with and talk with and get to know. Whereas on, Instagram, if you have 50,000 followers, you don't really know any of them and they don't really know you that well either.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I feel like I kind of struggle with that too, and in Instagram, you definitely have to post every single day, maybe a couple of times a day, to be honest, on Instagram to really get the algorithm to start rewarding you. So that's really good stuff. So as far as taking your journey, because I've seen this, and this has been the case I've seen with a lot of my clients, some of my clients, I'll say, personal trainers in person, then COVID hit. And then a lot of trainers have been trying to, go online at one time. So how has that transition been from you, being a personal trainer live in the gym with all your clients to doing this virtually? I mean, was that a transition difficult for you?
It wasn't difficult because I was already doing online coaching for a while before this pandemic happened.
Okay.
It definitely accelerated my business because people start to see how much you can actually get done working virtually. But I made the switch over quite a while ago. So the pandemic particularly didn't have that much of an effect, but I really do just like the online platform more because you can do way more for your clients. We do accountability calls. I have a video course. I have, mindset coaching, nutrition, workouts. So all that stuff that really helps them get more results. Whereas if you're an in-person trainer, you can stand next to them for an hour, 2-3 times a week and essentially just count their reps.
Right.
And it doesn't really do that much for them.
Right.
And then when they go home and they just eat whatever, then they're not going to get results. So I found that the online thing is just so much more expansive and can do so much more for the client.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. So has it been difficult being in an industry, and I'm in an industry too, where, we have a lot of competition, so what have you been able to kind of do or to get creative to kind of separate yourself from that competition or stand out to some degree? It's tough to do, but, how have you navigated that?
So the way I think about that kind of competition is that, you might see, there's 1,000 fitness influencers. But
Mhm.
guess how many people are out there trying to do investment banking or get a
Right.
job as a lawyer? There's way more competition in those industries. It's just
True.
that they're not out there in front of your eyes all the time. So I actually think that there's less competition in an industry like this. If you want to be the top dog in this industry, it's easier to get there than it would be to become the best lawyer in the United States or the
Mm.
best investment banker in the United States. So I actually think that the competition is more visual, like visual. You see it more, but it's actually less. But I think that if you are going to go into an industry like this, you have to understand that you are going to have to make a lot of content and you have to be consistent with
Yes.
the content. And the organic marketing is just critical. Even if you're running ads, you have to have that presence online. And that's really the hard part is
Yep.
the constant content on social media. Obviously like training your clients, if you're a trainer or a nutritionist and you know what to do, that part isn't actually too difficult, but it's the organic marketing that takes the most work by far.
Yeah, I get a lot of clients to tell me, they don't feel like doing it, it's because it's time consuming. So, as far as coming up with content, how do you put your content together? Do you kind of think the way I put my content, I'll kind of give you my example, is I always think of three areas. I want my content to be entertaining, inspiring, informative. And that's kind of the foundation of how I'm going to put together what. So today I want to put 2, 3 pieces of entertaining, content. Maybe the next day, informative, so on and so forth. So what kind of content strategy do you have when you're looking as far as what to post? Do you just post a bunch of selfies for the people watching that are struggling with coming up with content? What's your strategy?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things that are important to consider when you're making your content. The first is what kind of content does well on the platform that you're working on.
Yes.
That's a part of the reason why I don't really like Instagram is because Instagram rewards just pictures and pictures of your abs and stuff like that. And
Right,
it's like
right, right.
really not helping anybody. And I don't really feel like I'm giving any value when I post that kind of stuff. And then when I do create a video of me explaining something and actually teaching people things, it doesn't do as well. And so I get pretty
Mhm.
discouraged with the Instagram platform for that reason.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I really don't use it at all anymore. I'm completely focused on Facebook. But if you can identify what content does well and then use that to pick the platform that you want to focus on, then you got to choose a platform you're going to like. If you love creating extensive videos and doing all the editing and the production and all that, maybe YouTube's good
Yeah,
for you.
YouTube, right.
If you love writing, maybe you write a blog, maybe you write on Medium or Facebook.
Right.
Facebook's really good for writing. It just depends on the type of content you want to make. And then in terms of the theme of your content, like you said, there's different stuff. You can do things that are like entertaining or funny. You can do things that are educational. You can do things that are inspirational. And you just got to pick which one you feel like you have the voice for. So it's not a matter of thinking, oh, this is the best kind of content. It's about thinking, what do I want to make and what can I really be the most authentic with?
Love it. I love it, man. So I'm gonna ask you one last question, man. We don't want to make this forever. And being in social media, nobody watches that long. So you got to make it short to the point all the time. So for somebody watching that wants a personal trainer, wants to do better in fitness, but has never worked with a virtual trainer, this is kind of a new concept for me too.
Mhm.
How does just explain, just for people that have no idea, how does it work working with a personal trainer virtually? I know how an in-person trainer works. I would go to the gym every day, but how does a virtual trainer? What's the process?
Yeah, so basically they can provide you with your workout plans, your meal plans, but that's kind of basic stuff.
Okay.
Every trainer, every coach you're going to work with is going to have their own kind of unique offer.
Mhm.
But I can give you an overview of mine just so you have a clear picture.
Yeah.
But basically what we do is we set up workout plans, meal plans. We have some habits that we help our clients implement, and then we give them all of that through an app that we use. And then they can track everything in there. So it's
Mm.
a lot of good tools that we use to keep track of things and make sure they're progressing. But then the thing that I think is most valuable about online coaching is all the support and reinforcement that we're able to provide. So we do 3 group coaching calls per week. One's with my assistant coach, 2 are with me. Those are on different topics of like mindset, accountability,
Nice.
technical stuff that I'm teaching them. I have a video course that has about 40 different videos on these topics of mindset, nutrition, physiology, training. So they're learning a ton about how their body works.
Wow.
And I always make it a point of saying like, hey, I'm going to have you do these things, but now let me help you actually learn how your body works. You understand why you're doing them. So I really want to focus on helping them make a lifestyle transformation instead of just being solely focused on the physical results. And so that way we're able to do, of course, what they do, which is what I call the methods, right? Your workout plans, your meal plans, your habits. But then we reinforce those methods with the principles, which is the education. And then, of course, we reinforce all that with a bunch of accountability. And
Mm.
so by having that whole overall program, people get a lot of resources and a lot of help in building this lifestyle transformation rather than just, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds or, I want to increase my bench by 30 pounds.
I see what you. I like that. It's so much more inclusive than just like you said, counting reps. Because that's what I kind of think. Is I've never used a personal trainer personally. I just I'm just a gym rat. I just go in and just throw the weight. But I mean, it definitely would help me. But at the same time, you offer so much more, so comprehensive. That is cool stuff. So how do people get in contact with you that want to work with you for business inquiries or to get in your training program? Where do they go to contact you?
Yeah, so you can either just message me on Facebook. I'm tagged in this video. Name's Ben Speivek, or you can just message me on Instagram. My handle there is Ben Speivek, BenSpievek. If you send me a message, let me know what your goals are, what you're struggling with, and I'll talk with you and we can work something out.
All right, sounds like a plan, man. Thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it, man. We'll catch you on
Yeah,
the next
that
one.
was fun. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks.